this known information?
I'd like to know what the muckrakers found when they found their plant, because when we found ours, it was surrounded by, well, demons in a gateway.
Yeah. Fargild kind of perks up, and he pulls out like a small. Oh wait, I heard someone DC? Who was it? Was it Dustin?
It was
Man,
Dustin.
I missed all of it.
Oh my
Actually lost internet.
Oh,
I really
my
liked
lord.
the look of Fargild's face. I was blackout.
oh no!
Man, I like.
Don't
From
even,
the top.
don't even worry about it, dude. Fuck it. I like laughed because it was about the worst timing that a DC could happen.
Yeah, you can look over it. Nutshell, essentially, and if any of you guys like didn't catch all of it, I'll nutshell it super quick. Sen was one of the original members of a council that was like the start of the Perrin-Wall like council, which was like the capital of the Antarian Empire, and the king had sent Sen and another person of the council to separate regions to talk to the leaders and try and get an ambassador from each region to strengthen bonds and relationships between the regions. The two most northern regions on either side went fine. He had a bit of a weird encounter in Leyland with a man there who sent a halfling as an ambassador to him, which seemed like it was one of his slaves. He got back. Antis told him that the king had been killed. Antis being the son, the prince of Gant, who was the king, who had been killed. So Sen was dealing with that, and then he found out that Presh, who was sent to the Signan Flats to do the same job, he had not come back yet. So he addressed Antis, who had been appointed king, and said that he was concerned about Presh, and Antis told him that he was sealing the gates between the Antarian Empire and Signan Flats because conflict had arose, and Sen said that that's a death sentence and that Presh won't be able to make it out. And Antis said, well, he's smart, I think he can handle it, and then deemed him that he was coping and mourning, and that they need to bring him home. So he had guards like throw him into his house and everything, and Sen basically said fuck this and packed his shit up and left and went to the swamp and made his house there. And then he said adventurers would try and come through seeking refuge after like working their way through the swamp, and he ended up meeting these three people that are in the house now, who were from Radiska, and they were trying to get back into Radiska after coming into the Empire for some resources. And when they tried to cross through the border, they couldn't because the Radiska border had been sealed and they were stuck in the Empire. And then he says that he started a movement or a group that he was calling the Pry, and he had like various like groups of parties that were all essentially like spy teams, and that the team here was called the Muckrakers, and that they were researching what had happened in Perrin-Wall, just because Sen believes that there's some degree of corruption going on within the council. That's basically it. Yeah. And then so Alagos is curious about the Muckrakers' encounter with this plant, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what else they encountered alongside the plant, like where they found it at and what was accompanying the plant.
Yeah, so Fargild perks up and he says, we had followed a caravan into the woods north of here, and we ambushed the caravan at night to find robed robed men, robed men accompanied by pale-skinned, fiendish humanoid creatures, and after we took care of them, we went through their caravan to look for clues, and we found pots and soil with this red glowing plant in it. Nothing else. We found a small satchel with a few interesting coins or medallions, but other than that, that was what we discovered. And he like pulls out his plant and he drops a little like satchel that clings a little bit on the ground in front of him.
Would you say that they were trying to grow those plants?
From what we could tell, it was more of a transportation caravan. It seemed like they simply had stopped to rest. I don't think the wooded location that we encountered them in was their final destination.
Well, you guys came clean to us. I guess we should come clean to you. We have found either the location where those plants grow or the location where those plants are going.
Sen chimes in and says, "Is this the cave that you're referring to?"
Yes.
Okay. One moment, please. And he goes back over to like his desk, and he comes back with like a scroll, just like a bound up scroll, and he gets into like a point where you all can see him, and he like unravels it in front of you guys. And let me see, one second. Head to Discord, guys. He unravels.
Damn! Look at that new map.
He unravels a map, and I'll try and get a better resolution in your guys' hands in case you want to like scroll in on it. Man, I think I also can like put it in Roll20. I think that would be better, so we can like ping it. If you guys want to like ping, I can ping on it and stuff. I don't know. I probably won't do that right now, but I'll have it set up. I'll have this set up if you guys ever want to reference it. But you can see the Empire in the middle is where you guys are, and Perrinwall is just like right in the center. That's the capital. You see Hallbeck just southwest of it, not too far, and then the section to the right of that little like wooded like water area, that's the bog. That's Bolin Bog. So he points to where you guys currently are, and then he says, Fargild, could you show me where you encountered your caravan? And Fargild basically just points to the east of Bolin Bog, where there's that little patch of the beginning of this large forest. There's like a crossroads to the right of Bolin Bog, right? And then just south of that, the road leads into the forest there. He points to that area, basically like the start, the most northern section of that forested area.
Thank you.
And Fargild kind of drags his finger south, like through the forest, and says that he believes that they were traveling that way. Whereas you guys were in Hallbeck, which is not too far west of there, and the little forested area that's near Ornyx Farm is that farm area that's just west of Hallbeck, and the cave was kind of like right, not too far past the edge of that forest. So different directions, and as far as like Farguild could glean, they were following the caravan like
The road.
southeast, so they were headed in a different direction. It didn't so as far as I know, they were bringing the plant in the opposite direction if you guys came from Hulbeck. Is
So, okay.
basically what he can his input.
So they were heading east?
The caravan was headed into the forest, so like there, you see the crossroad. Like,
Yep.
man, I'm gonna import
Yeah.
this into.
Yeah, no,
Resume.
I see it. Yep.
They were headed like southeast, like basically through that forest, south.
Okay.
Through that forest.
Okay.
But also east, like, not towards Easterell. You see Easterell there.
Yeah.
Not in that direction. More towards like Last Look.
Okay.
Or maybe like you see Milmar down there. Like it could be Milmar. Like they never got to like
Yeah.
a point where they would, it
Yeah.
just was like right there. They intercepted them, but they weren't traveling east on the road. They were traveling east on the road. They weren't traveling west. They kind of came from. That's where they intercepted them.
They were going through that road into the forest,
Yep.
right? That's it.
Yep.
Well, that doesn't prove anything. Why would they risk going through that road so close to Paranwall? Well, where they could take the road through Milmar.
Unless it's coming from Paranwall.
Yeah, we did not see where they originally left from. We spotted them on the northern side of Bolin Bog and followed them east, and took our advantage when they decided to rest. That's all that we know in regards to this specific occurrence. Other than that, we've been talking with Fen a lot recently about trying to locate Presh from the Signan Flats. We believe he's still out there, and having his input and his help in the pry would be most advantageous. And eventually, we would love to get home, and he like acknowledges the three of them, to Radiska. It's been a long time since we've seen our families. So yeah, he kind of presents that they are in the Interior Empire because they can't get back to Radiska, that they met Sen, and that he enlisted them as one of the groups of the Pry to help him with his general researching. And Sen has given them like the overall goal of trying to figure out what happened to Presh in Signan Flats, but they've been like occupied with various other like weird activity going on in this area, most recent being the caravan sacking and getting a hold of the plant that you guys seem to also have encountered.
Any other incidents there that you could connect to the caravan?
Not particularly. This plant is new to us. We took it straight to Sen because he has an affinity for plant life in a medicinal sense. But
My guy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, has anybody tried to smoke the plant yet?
Vape Nation, go green.
damn, go red.
Go red. Has anybody tried to burn the plant? Tried to do anything with the plant? Do we know anything about this plant?
You guys didn't. The only thing I'll just say, because I think this is all I remember, when you took the sample that you have out of the water, because you plucked it out of the water there.
Yep.
The glow of it diminished, and someone else poured water on it, and it got brighter.
Yeah.
So it's interacted a few times with water in terms of like its vibrant lighting. But other than that, I don't think anyone's like tried to harm it or like do anything weird to it. They also disclosed that they got what they got and brought it straight to him and were like, we're not going to fuck with this. It's definitely weird.
I think should we drink it?
Oh my god.
Sen, as you guys kind of puzzle at the